Hey girl, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Kayla. Today's video is going to be all about my foundation, how I apply my foundation for my combination oily skin. I used to just be plain ass oily, but now I have combination where it gets like oily, somewhat in the T-zone, but more so like on my forehead, on my cheeks. But around here, girl, it's just dry city. Not extremely dry, but just to where I am now combination. Yeah, you literally used to be like everywhere was a grease ball. If I do work long hours, which I typically do, that's when I get greasy. So today I'm gonna show you guys how I stay matte all day. I'm gonna start off with primer. I have two primers that are my favorite, both from Smashbox, both kind of expensive. But I have the Smashbox Primer Oil and the Smashbox Photo Finish, oh my god, Smooth and Blur Primer. These two work amazing. Depending on your skin type, you're gonna wanna go for one or the other. If you have more oily skin, I would say this one. If you have more dry skin, I would say the oil. But I have combination skin and I can get away with both, especially with the way that I do my foundation that I'm gonna show you guys. I do get compliments when I use both. I feel like I get more compliments when I use this one. That's why it's my favorite. You can see how much I've actually used in the bottle. But I'm going to use, I think I'm gonna use this one today. I do about 4 drops on my face. Yeah, pretty much what I do is just like to let it absorb into my skin. And this makes my foundation look so good. It looks so good. Okay, I'm taking my Maybelline Fit Me loose powder in the shade number 30. What I'm gonna do is take a damp beauty sponge. I'm taking my Juno & Co microfiber sponge and I'm just gonna dip this into the powder. You can use any powder you have or you think works great, doesn't matter, the shade. And I am just going to apply this over the areas where I get extremely shiny. And as you can already see, that has, you know, mattified it. And I know you're probably thinking, why do you apply powder before you apply your foundation? Isn't that weird? Isn't that not right? This is a trick I've learned from Wayne Goss. If you guys do not know who Wayne Goss is, I'm pretty sure, I'm not sure if he's the one that's like come up with this or if he just like learned it in beauty school or something, I don't know. But he essentially says that if you have oily skin and you apply powder before you apply your liquid foundation, it helps with the longevity of mattifying your face for the day. So I really do like to apply powder before I apply foundation, and I really like to apply it in the areas where I get really greasy. I am taking my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is my absolute favorite ride or die foundation. I've gone through at least 4 bottles of these already. This is my 4th bottle. So yeah, and I am in the shade Warm Beige. I'm gonna go ahead and apply 2 pumps. I like to do 1.5 to 2 pumps for my face. This sponge that I chose to use today, it's really good at applying a lot of products. Kind of like if you want something full coverage, this is a good sponge. I haven't used this in a hot minute, so let's see how this goes. And I just go over my face like I normally would. I'm gonna take my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define in the shade C10. And I'm applying this in a triangle under my eyes, close to my nose, but also bringing it up. I typically like to go with a lighter concealer, but the lighter ones I have, they're like way too light. And then these are like my lighter concealers when I'm darker, so I definitely need to go pick up one. I'm gonna take the flat side of my sponge and just go in and blend. Now, I typically don't contour every single day. I really don't contour every single day. I usually just highlight the under eyes and then apply just concealer to highlight the high points of my face. I rarely contour my nose unless I'm doing like a really cool makeup look or something like that for YouTube or Instagram. So I'm gonna skip that step. If you guys contour, then go ahead and contour. If you would like to see how I contour, then comment down below and I'll definitely do that in a separate video. But for now, I'm going to set the bake. I use several different powders. My top 3 are the Wet n Wild banana powder. I have the Laura Mercier. This is my tried and true. I try to use this sparingly because it is expensive and it is bomb as fuck, and this is just, it's good. And then I also love my Jeffree Star magic powder. I need to re-up on this, so I don't really use this as much. So I'm just gonna take my Wet n Wild banana powder and I'm going to take my sponge, the same sponge that I've been using. And mind you, I forgot to mention this is a damp sponge. I had it in a little paper towel where I was, blotting it from the excess water that I had. And I'm just gonna go ahead and bake. Now you don't have to do this, but I like to do this to set my under eyes, keep it from creasing throughout the day, but then also to just brighten it more. Because I got the banana, it really does brighten it. And I feel like it just looks smoother. Now, if you have more mature skin, I would not do this because I feel like this settles into like fine lines and wrinkles and like all that. I feel like baking isn't great for mature skin. I feel like it just enhances what you don't want it to enhance. You know what you can do instead is just lightly dust your under eye with a small powder brush. A good one I would recommend, maybe you can find something from Morphe because I don't think I have one, but this is the BH Cosmetics number 4 brush. I got this in a set of like 8 brushes. This is really good. Something with like a little dome that you can get your powder and then just like apply it under your under eye and like lightly dust your under eye. That's gonna work really well. I'm gonna take my Maybelline Fit Me once more. I'm gonna take my powder brush, dip that in there and tap off the excess. Then I'm just going to press this on the rest of my face. Because this is a more skin tone powder, it's not gonna look unnatural and it's not gonna give me a yellow or a white cast to my face. Even though typically if you use a translucent powder, it doesn't essentially do that, but I just like the look better. Notice I am just taking the powder and patting it on versus swiping it all over my face. I really want to make sure that the powder does get on to my face and it stays there and it's mattified. Now I'm gonna take the same brush and dust off the excess very lightly so that I don't have any weird powdery bits on my face. The Morphe Glamour Bronze, I just noticed that they brought this back. I noticed that they had, I didn't think it was a limited edition, but I guess it is a limited edition, or was, and they brought it back because I saw it at Ulta the other day. And I'm just going to take my bronzer and lightly dust it on my cheeks. Something that I learned too is that they had people smile and just apply it where your hollows of your cheeks are, but also right under your cheekbones so that it could really make your actual cheekbones look, right under your cheek, the apple of your cheeks, so it could make your cheeks look more higher. I'm gonna take some more of the banana powder from Wet n Wild, or you could take translucent powder, whatever you're using, and just carve my cheekbone just like that. What I like to do, because I'm pretty sure some people don't know exactly where to place this powder, is I like to use the corner of my mouth and go to the top of my ear, essentially. Where like it's right in line with right here, the ear. Does that make sense? What I'm doing here is cleaning up any areas of where the bronzer may have gotten too far on my jawline and it starts to just look real muddy and real weird. This really cleans it up and makes your jaw look really sharp. I'm gonna let that sit for a second, and then I'm gonna do my eyebrows and we'll come back. I'm going to take my setting spray. I know I mentioned this to some people. I'm gonna take my setting spray and we're just going to lightly mist this area of the face. For highlight today, I'm going to be taking my Benefit highlighter in the shade Dandelion Twinkle. Then a little bit on my forehead. Today, I wanted like a mauve. I need to get away from my Mellow Wine from Wet n Wild, but it is my favorite. I think I'm just gonna use it. If you guys have any blush recommendations, let me know, because I tend to use the same one, and it's always my Wet n Wild Mellow Wine. Like, it's crazy how much I use this thing, and it's barely made a dent in this. That's insane. It's a lot of product. I'm gonna finish it off with some setting spray. Again, the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. I do want to try out the mattifying one. So if you guys would like to see a review on that, let me know. I really want to go purchase it. I just need an excuse to purchase it. So just leave a comment down below that you want to see that review. That's it for this foundation routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this and found this very helpful, and hopefully you were able to recreate this essential look as far as like your foundation goes. As far as your foundation goes though, it doesn't really matter what you use, just as long as it works for you. If it doesn't work for you, then maybe try these steps that I just told you. If you want to use a foundation that is for more dry skin, then this would probably help you out. This is a satin finish, or it's supposed to have a satin finish. I feel like when I first started using this, I saw more of the satin finish. The more and more I use this, I feel like it hydrates my face, and it does get a little dewy, I guess you would say. Especially when I'm working my serving job, I tend to get a bit greasy when I'm working longer hours. This is more for like everyday use, not for work. Does that make sense? Like, it's like an everyday going to the grocery store kind of foundation. It works really well. I get a lot of compliments on this foundation. It's my favorite. Also, for full coverage, I do love the Huda Beauty foundation. This is more of like your Instagram full coverage foundation. It works so well, but I do always recommend the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. It's my number one. It's my tried and true. It's what I wear everywhere, you know, so even to work. So the way I applied it today is usually how I wear it to work, to get it to not get so crazy. If you guys have any questions on any other part of my routines, my eyeshadow, how I do it, my brows, how I do them, then leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get to that. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button to join the K-Bae family. It'll really help me out. It's free. Just hit the subscribe button, or wherever it's at, wherever you're viewing, hit that subscribe button to be notified of future videos. And also give this video a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And thank you guys so much for taking a few seconds out of your day just doing that alone. And I will talk to you guys in my next one. Bye guys.